Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Prophet, and I think it's time to talk about the E3, eh? First up, I did not get to watch the entire Microsoft exhibition thingy, but yeah, I'll talk about what I got. Basically, I loved Chief Master Collection. First, I was really skeptical to this because, well, we have seen so many times that people are just trying to resurrect all franchises by just bringing them to new platforms. That usually does not work. You can see Steam has a ton of old games right now where companies are just dumping their entire library of old games onto the platform, and that does not really work out. But when they mentioned and said that they have been remastering the games, they have been porting them to the new platform, to the new Xbox One, I was really excited because that is actually a reason for people to either buy the Xbox or those who already own it to actually have games on it. That looks really good, and the system and the way that they did it by having everything on one disc was amazing. I really liked that. So that is the first thing, and secondly, the ID Xbox One thing looked really great. Basically, a new way to help indie developers really get their games out, basically, to help them create new indie games for the Xbox is amazing, especially when you think about the relationship between Xbox/Microsoft and indie developers previously, where they all were like, well, let's jump this boat and go over to Sony. So this is great that they are picking everything back up, that they're going to focus more on indie games, as that is something that keeps people interested and keeps people within the loop during the downtimes of AAA games. I really enjoy that, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the kind of games that they're bringing forward there. They showcased a few of the smaller indie games, and the creators of Limbo have a new title coming up, and it looks really cool actually. So that would be really great to see how everything works around that, and I'm really happy the way that they really did it, especially compared to last year's E3, where Microsoft were just like shooting themselves in the head. Alright, EA. EA starts actually pretty high and jumping straight up into Battlefront even. Starts Battlefront, and greatly anticipated. I'm personally extremely hyped about this game. I hate being hyped about games because generally that means that my hopes and expectations get shutted when the game is released, sadly enough. But Battlefront looked really great, and I just can't wait to see how that will go. Of course, always wait for the day one reviews at least before buying any games. Do not go for any pre-orders, because if you are like me, I want to pre-order this. I want to go on Origin and just buy it right now if I could, but I'm not going to, because pre-ordering is stupid, and you're basically throwing money at something that you will not have for some time, and that might be bad and not really live up to the expectations. But it's created by the guys behind Battlefield, so probably gonna be good. DICE are known to do good job when it comes to open and big landscapes, such as we have seen before in the previous Battlefront games. Battlefield Hardline, it looked really weird. Honestly, if I'm going for this kind of bank robber and cop thing, I might go for Payday 2 instead. I mean, like, that just seems like the better option. Hardline definitely did not look like anything bad. It looked pretty cool, but I don't know. I were not really that into Battlefield 4. Yeah, but it looks great. I were kind of confused. Did they really have any NPCs that were just like helping you and just moving around? And what was the thing with 50,000 robbers? Did every robber within the New York district just like get together about this robbery? I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I got 2 copies or 2 keys that me and my partner will be playing, so it'll be really great. We'll try to make some content of that if we get anything decent out of it. Of course, Sims, ladies and gentlemen. Sims was anticipated by quite a few, and I even have a video explaining that it will be released where I talk a bit about it. But yeah, I did not really get what they were trying to showcase here. I mean, they were basically just saying, beside, like, after all the little girls had been like hyped over and they were like screaming and all of that stuff, they actually explained about the game. And what did we really get out of that? Well, apparently you can die of laughter now. That was interesting. Now, basically, the different Sims will interact or act upon what have happened to them and how their really emotions are. So it looks like they're really adding and fleshing out the emotion system, as well as the kind of creation system. And yeah, it will be interesting to see how they go about that. I'm not... Everyone's into Sims, right? I have played loads of Sims. Mostly Sims 2, Sims 3 was like, yeah, but it was interesting to see what they're really going for in Sims 3. If I can go back to making crazy things with my characters and create muck for Pokemon within it, then I'm happy. If I can create Shrek, I'll also be greatly happy. But that would be interesting. Last from the EA that I really were even caring about is their yearly games such as FIFA, Madden, golf and all of that. And none of them really blew me away besides golfing. Golfing was probably the best trailer I've ever seen, ever. Especially on E3. Oh, I sat here and I fell out of my chair. I never do that. I never do that. But me and my friend, we were just joking around like, oh, the animals. Maybe you can kill the animals. Maybe they will kill you. Maybe they will attack you, because they were like zooming in on animals. Look at the grass, and we were like, the grass, the textures, the quality, everything. And then we were joking about how they needed Battlefield for this, and suddenly he shoots the golf ball and it passes over battleships. Just giant battleships just crashing into the court, and I was like, whoa, what is going on? That was amazing. We're making a video on just that, coming right about your way. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, we got Ubisoft. I did not get to stay up for Sony or Nintendo, I'm sorry. It got kind of late here in Norway, and I were doing other kind of work. I did not get everything from Ubisoft, but some of the major points here was, why did they showcase Division again? Over at Microsoft convention, or Microsoft's part, they already talked about Division and Tom Clancy and all of that. They went all about the showcase, they played a bit of it, and so forth. But what the heck is going on with showing it twice? I did not need to see it again. I don't know. They must have not coordinated. That was weird. So I don't know what to make of that game. It was interesting. It looks cool, but I don't know. It will be interesting to see what they do. Tom Clancy games are usually pretty fine, go about good, but it will be interesting to see what they are really landing upon with this. Of course, Assassin's Creed Unity was probably one of the biggest hypes here, and they were like, 4-player multiplayer, yay! I do not care, honestly. That is great, and I can play this with my friends, I can play it alone if I want to, that's great, but please, there's pretty much like one major thing that they need to do. Do you know what that is? Exactly. Fixing the combat. The combat is the main problem of this game. Nothing else. So please, can they fix the combat? Then we might talk about other features. Yay. Alright, Far Cry, the most hyped game of entire Ubisoft. I said the same about Assassin's Creed, didn't I? But anyway, Far Cry was like they started out by showcasing Far Cry, if I'm not mistaken. We're like, it's Far Cry, it's amazing, and the stories are just like always, really crazy, really weird, and it looks great. I'm ready to grab upon the game because it have even co-op, and that means story co-op even, not just some weird ass side mission thingies that's just weird. No, I'm looking forward. I can't wait to see what they are going about with this, because the makers of Far Cry always throw some good stuff at us. But Ubisoft, as we have talked about before, please optimize your games and please do release them for PC within a month at least, please. That was about it for my first day of E3 coverage. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Prophet, and I will see you guys next time. Oh, and I almost forgot, The Witcher 3. Now, The Witcher 3 is a game that is hyped up by a lot of people because, well, it's a pretty big franchise. To be frank, amazing. To be frank, it looked pretty solid. The game brought a lot of cool aspects to it with the entire open world, where they, among other things, discussed how you would be able to walk from the place where they were standing all the way across the forest and up into the mountains on the other side in the far, far vision, and even beyond the mountains. It looked gorgeous by the graphical fidelity of the game. The open world aspects of it looked amazing. The hunt sequence, pretty stellar, interesting mechanics, and I'm really looking forward to see how they are really going to approach this, because the combat is not my style, but we will see how they really polish up that. But the gameplay itself, from what we saw from the trailer, looked really choppy. For some reason, I got the feeling that it was less fluent than it should be, which is kinda sad. And as a final little wrap-up thing there, I just want to say that Rainbow Six Siege, or whatever it was called, looked amazing. It had the same problem as Division, or what it was called, where they would actually be using voice actors, like professional voice actors. The girl who played the voice of Wraith, she also plays the medics in StarCraft, so that's kind of lame. They should just go all out and just say that this is voice actors and just make it look cool, instead of just being like making them pretend like they're actually playing the game. But overall, the gameplay looked really cool, because it looked more like a 5v5 tactical shooter where you need to think about how you are going to approach the different situations and so forth, compared to how the game was, or compared to a lot like stuff like Battlefield, Call of Duty, Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike can be some of the same there, but still it's a pretty big difference. So I'm really looking forward to see how they will really approach that. So yeah, that is about my wrap up for the day 0, I guess, of E3. Thank you for tuning in.